Well, you know, I think that he had the temerity to take on supply-side trickle-down economics. That does not make him a Marxist, however. And I think that what he was saying is something that a lot of people, not only in the United States, but everywhere around the world, are concerned about. And that is a widening inequality, the kind of savagery of that widening inequality in terms of what it is doing to our societies.
And let me ask you, Mr. Gingrich, Speaker, when you look at that issue of inequality, and this is something he's put front and center, the Pope has, it's something, of course, that President Obama talks a lot about. We saw the story about homelessness in New York, stark reality of the gap in the nation's biggest city. Is this an issue that Republicans should be talking about?
Absolutely. I mean, how can you justify the level of wealth in those big towers in New York City, and the level of poverty in those alleys? Absolutely. And without talking about government, say, surely a society that cared, that believed every person was endowed by their creator with the right to pursue happiness, would come up with a better solution than 22,000 children that are homeless. And I think that the Republican Party has an obligation to rethink some of its indifference to the very poor. And I think the Democrats have an obligation to ask themselves, after 50 years of the war on poverty, isn't it clear the government is not a very good...
Well, except for the... Wait a minute, hold on. Public policy actually does make a difference.
Mr. Secretary.
The war on poverty, which next year we are going to celebrate the 50th anniversary, in addition to the Civil Rights Act, the war on poverty was successful for a time. What has happened, however, over the last 30 years, is that much of the ardor, much of the concern, much of what propelled that war on poverty has dissipated.
Well, it's also true, though,
after 5 years of President Barack Obama, we see the problem worse.
Well, the problem is worse. I think it has something to do, perhaps, with the intransigence of the Speaker's party, because every time there was a jobs bill, every time there was an effort to expand low-income housing, every time there was an effort to provide better opportunities for young people. We're talking about equal opportunity. Equal opportunity is at the basis
This is baloney.
Of this. What is baloney?
Here's the baloney. Every major city which is a center of poverty is run by Democrats. Every major city. Yes. Their policies have failed. You're not willing to admit it. And the fact is, it's the poor who suffer from bad.